Hi, and welcome to the Changing Perspectives podcast, the show where we discuss a variety of topics including grief, parenting, health and wellness, and relationships. Join us and explore a number of changing perspectives. We're your hosts, Jenni and Josh Brennan. Hi, Jenni.
Hello.
What's happening?
Not much.
So this is episode 19.
It is, yes.
We are cruising right along. Listen, the response is awesome. We love all of our listeners so much. I was going to say fans. Do we have fans yet? I'm not sure if we can say if we have fans yet. What do you think?
I think we have fans. Maybe. I don't really know.
Well, listen, like us, review us, follow us. Go to iTunes and rate us. It's really helpful. Check out our previous episodes. We're so excited about the last episode on Monday, the 20th, May 20th. We interviewed the modern mortician, Melissa Unfred. So much fun. Our first interview. There are more to come with that as well. I also wanted to celebrate the fact that we just passed 1,500 downloads. Right, Jenni?
That is correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't like when I give this a little...
I really don't.
At the beginning.
I don't. It's really uncomfortable for me. It feels like you're selling us. I just want to get right into the material.
You're just content. You're a content person. You just want to do the content.
Well, I also just remembered that we have to order that new bat for our child for this weekend's tournament. No, I meant to do it before we got on. So
you could do it live right now.
I'm trying to multitask.
Then let me vamp.
No.
So listen, my job is the producer, recorder, editor. Part of the producing part of this is, telling people how great it is that they listen and download and how they can get us more listeners. Check out our previous episodes. If this is your first one, listen to the back episodes. Again, especially that first interview we did, episode 18. Also, email us.
Are you really just trying to fill time now to irritate me?
No, I'm literally reading off of...
Okay.
Look, I'll show you. Look, I wrote email us.
Okay, all right.
I would like to do what many other podcasts, some of my favorite podcasts out there do. A listener mail or listener Facebook shout outs. We haven't really done that too much, a little bit, especially on the survey, children's grief in the classroom. A lot of that content was from the engagement from listeners, but I would love to be able to do like a listener mail or, Facebook shout outs or something. So reach out to us, drop us a line, let us know your thoughts about this topic we're about to go through or any topic that we've discussed previously. We'd love to hear your thoughts and we will read them over the air. Okay, I think I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So this is exciting. Maybe should I apologize for bugging you?
Yes.
For the last 3.5 minutes?
People have turned off now and they're not going to listen to our show.
They like our banter.
Okay, maybe so. But I also just ordered the bat, so I'm good at multitasking.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do the one that he wanted, the slugger?
I did the one that he wanted, and thank goodness for Amazon, it will be here tomorrow, which is good because we need it for Friday.
And then maybe he can use it at practice tomorrow.
Maybe. Okay.
Anyway,
all right.
Speaking of what people like, people seem to really like the relationship episodes.
Yeah, those ones are actually, I posted some stats last night. Those are the ones that are like over 100 downloads each. And so we keep coming back to those because people actually, so in order, it's our introduction one, then it's the episode 8, improving your relationship, then the love language one, and then repairing your relationship. I forget what was different between episode 8 and the repair quiz. That's what the episode 14 was. So those are our 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's parenting. So I know our wheelhouse is grief and loss, and we will continue to bring you episodes like that, but we're also going to respond to what you're interested in. And it looks like people are really interested in conversations around relationships and parenting. And we can certainly draw on that because we have relationships and we are parents. Mm-hmm. And also because that's what my clinical training is in. So, So today, what we realized on our last relationship episode is that the apologies were kind of interesting, and we kept kind of finding ourselves leaning into those. And if you remember the love language episode, Gary Chapman, Dr.
Yes,
Chap, you
Chap.
referred to him as Chap. He actually has another quiz. It's the apology language quiz. And so that's what I've brought for us to do today. So the homework
Awesome.
was Josh and I both did this separately, took it individually, and now we're going to run through it like we've done the other quizzes,
Yeah.
share our responses, and then talk about it at the end. Now, Josh, the challenge to you, Mr. Wordy Pants, is to not be wordy.
Okay.
Okay? Because this is it's 20 questions, but
So are we going to do all of them?
we are going to do all of them. Okay. So I will start and model for you how that's going to go. Josh is giving me a look. We are just the facts
Good luck.
here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do odds. You're going to do even. There's 20 questions.
Mhm.
Each question is a scenario in which someone has wronged you or hurt you or upset you. And then you're given 5 possible apology scenarios, and you decide which is the one that you would like to receive, which one
Okay.
kind of speaks to you the most. The difficulty is that the scenarios are long and the responses are long. So
Well, if you're interested to follow along with us as we go through and you're at a place to do that, you can check out the 5 apology language quizzes.
yes. And this version has shapes.
Hmm.
But let's not go with the shapes. Let's go with A, B, C, D, E, because that's
Okay.
going to be easier.
Well, no.
Not when we add them up. It's fine. You're fine,
No, that's not going to... Why don't we just go with the shape?
because people aren't going to remember what I'll model for you. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. Your spouse failed to acknowledge your wedding anniversary. If you're not married, assume you are in this scenario. He or she should say, this is where it would be better for it to be A versus
Okay.
diamond.
Let's go.
All right.
You're
A,
the professional.
I can't believe I forgot. You and our marriage are so important to me. I am so sorry. B, there is no excuse for me forgetting. What was I thinking? C, what can I do to prove my love for you? D, you can bet I won't forget next year. I'm going to circle the date on my calendar. Or E, I know you were hurt, but can you ever forgive me? So I went with A. I can't believe I forgot. You and our marriage are so important to me. I am so sorry.
Okay.
What'd you go with?
I also went with A.
Oh, great.
That same one.
I should also add that some of the apologies here are kind of hokey and wordy and a little cheesy, and nobody would actually say some of these word for word, but lean into that. It's
Right.
about sort of the message behind it. And at the end of this, we're going to add up which do we have more of, and then share with you what that kind of means. So in all of these, A doesn't necessarily mean the same thing in each one. When you actually look at the quiz,
Yes.
it'll make sense to you.
Well, we can... Yeah, we'll go through the actual shapes at the end with the answers.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So this one on this quiz is a diamond if you want to keep score.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we're both diamonds.
We are. Mm-hmm.
So far. Okay, number 2. Your mother knew how you felt about a matter and knowingly went against your wishes. She should say, A, if I had only thought about what I was doing, I would have realized it was wrong. B, what can I do to regain your respect? C, I won't take your feelings for granted in the future. D, will you please give me another chance? And E, I know how you felt, but went against your wishes anyway. I wish I had not done that. So I think you can start to...
Oh, God. See, this is what I mean. You have to be quick. What'd you pick?
Well, hold on.
Oh, I apologize. This is a 3-hour-long episode.
That's not on here, what you just said.
Mm.
No, I think that you can start to, as we go through these, you can start to hear a thread in the type of apology these are. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, I went with C. I won't take your feelings for granted in the future.
Okay. For those of you following along, that is a square.
Square.
I went with another diamond. I knew how you felt, but went against your wishes anyway. I wish I had not done that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So number 3, you were in a crisis and needed help, but your friend ignored your need. He or she should say, A, saying I'm sorry doesn't feel like it is enough. What more can I say or do to mend our friendship? B, I realize now that I could have been more help to you, and I promise that I'll do everything I can to help you if ever you are in trouble again. C, I am sincerely sorry and ask you to forgive me. D, I should have been there for you. I'm so sorry I let you down. Or E, I let you down when you needed me the most. I made a mistake. I made a terrible mistake. And I went with E, which is a circle. I let you down when you needed me the most. I made a terrible mistake.
Okay. I did not go with the circle. I went with D, which is the diamond. I should have been there for you. I'm so sorry I let you down.
I don't know that I clarified that this is not specific to romantic relationships.
No.
So this is an apology language that's kind of across the board. So there's romantic relationships, friendships, families, friends, things like that. Work relationships. So it's kind of across the board.
That's important to point out.
Yeah.
Can I pause for 2 seconds?
Sure.
At the beginning of the episode, I think you might have been hearing some weird microphone noises. I had to adjust it. Should be fine now, but I want to apologize if you heard some
great.
microphone scuffing.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a word. Number 4, your sister made an insensitive remark about you. She should say, A, while I will likely say wrong things again in the future, what I've learned from this experience will help me avoid hurting you with insensitive comments.
Whew, that is a mouthful.
That's a wordy
I know.
B, I blew it. Can you forgive me? C, that was so thoughtless of me. I wish I had been more considerate of your feelings. I forget what letter I'm on. D, I know what I said was wrong and that I hurt your feelings. And E, would you allow me to retract what I said? I would like a chance to restore your reputation.
Wow, you're having a hard time reading.
I just got out of work. This is at the end of a work day, Jenny.
All right.
I went with C, I think, which is a diamond. That was so thoughtless of me. I wish I had been more considerate of your feelings. I
also went with a diamond.
Listen, I think, I don't want to
give it away.
Jump to the end, but I think you and I are
we're gonna match up again.
We're jiving.
That does not mean
we're gonna win.
It does not mean that we're winning
this.
This is not winning. This is about learning how important or what kinds of apologies are important to you. And as I was taking this in the Target parking lot, because what would an episode be without me mentioning Target?
You have to.
Because I literally went to Target today and in the parking lot finished my quiz.
It's a requirement.
I was thinking, I have never really kind of thought about this before. Like I've thought about it in the context of kind of our relationship and what kind of like love language is important when we disagree. But I've never really thought about it from a bigger picture about like apologies and what kinds of apologies are important to me. So I learned a lot about myself in taking this quiz. So it's pretty interesting and thinking about like what's different from different relationship to different relationship.
Right. I thought about that a lot too. And I thought also about what was more powerful for me to see was what was not important to me at all.
Yeah, same. Because there were, I don't want to give it away, but there's a couple that I didn't select at all for any of mine.
Actually.
Okay.
But
all right.
It's the same one.
Maybe. If it is, we win, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I'm odd, right?
Yep.
Your spouse
You got that right.
Your spouse lashed out in anger against you when you had done no apparent wrong. He or she should say, A, I am truly sorry for yelling at you. B, I am truly sorry for yelling at you. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. B, I wish I had not hurt you by yelling at you. I feel so bad for how I treated you. C, I was angry, but I had no right to speak to you that way. You did not deserve that. D, what can I do or say to make things right between you and me? Or E, I'm afraid that I'll do this again, and I don't want to. Help me think of ways to avoid blowing up like this in the future. So I went with C, which was a circle. I was angry, but I had no right to speak to you that way. You did not deserve that. So what did you do for number 5?
Samies.
Oh, samies. Is that a word?
I don't know.
I think it's
samesies.
right now.
Samesies?
Samesies? I don't really know.
Oh,
twinning.
Well, I just had to leave the studio to rescue a dog.
Well, you had to rescue a dog from licking her own paws.
Well, she was making noises and
I know.
It was probably being picked up on the microphone.
Yeah, okay. All right. So
it was a circle. I was angry, but I had no right to speak to you like that. You do not deserve that.
Hopefully you would say it in a nicer tone.
Yeah. Number 6, is that what we're on? You were proud of your accomplishment, but your friend acted as if it was trivial. He or she should say, "Hey, you need me to share your excitement? I let you down."
I'm sorry, it sounded like you just said "hey," like like Joey Tribbiani.
Oh, hey, I am Italian.
But you were saying the letter A.
My Italian showing. A.
With your nose, it always is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, that's funny. Okay. Now, if you don't know what we look like, you should look us up so you know that that's funny.
Josh is the one with the fake nose.
Yes. And the guy.
Well, okay.
You needed me. Now where it's way off the rails now. I can't even focus.
You were proud of your accomplishment, but your friend acted as if it was trivial.
Yes.
He or she should say.
You needed me to share your excitement and I let you down. I hate that I didn't respond more appropriately. B. I spoiled your celebration by not being happy for you. I could make excuses, but really I have no good excuse for ignoring your achievement. C. Is it too late for us to celebrate your accomplishment? I really want to make this up to you. And D. I promise I'll notice and celebrate your accomplishments in the future. I've learned a hard lesson. And finally, I know I failed you before, but will you please forgive me again? And I went with C, which is the triangle, actually. Is it too late for us to celebrate your accomplishment? I really want to make this up to you.
I did too. And I struggle with that because I'll give this away now. That's the only triangle that I had throughout the entire thing. And so I went back through and I was like, what was it about that question that made me select a triangle? What was it about the issue or the relationship? And so I think I just like celebrations is what I came up with. Yeah. Celebrations about accomplishments. Like, I don't know what that, I don't know what it was that drew me in this one to a triangle. And it also made me, I actually questioned it. Like, is that really true?
Me too.
And when I went back to it, it's still really true.
As I was reading it and realizing which one I selected, I also didn't select a lot of triangles. I was second guessing myself.
But you stuck with it as well.
It's still true. So yeah.
I guess I don't like being the center of attention. Like, I don't like big birthday parties or anything like that. But I guess if I have an accomplishment, I don't mind that being celebrated. So I don't know. I was drawn to the triangle there. Is it too late for us to celebrate your accomplishment? I really want to make this up to you. I guess would be great to me.
Yeah.
So, all right. I feel like I took that one over. I'm sorry, but
no,
I'm odd.
I was struggling. So.
Your business partner failed to consult with you on an important matter of mutual interest. He or she should say, A, I really blew it this time. I was wrong to not include you in this decision. You have a right to be upset with me. B, is there anything I can do to make up for what I did? C, in the future, I plan to consult with you no matter what. I won't bypass you in making decisions again. D, you have every right to hold this against me, but will you please forgive me? Or E, I know now that I hurt you very badly. I'm truly sorry for what I did.
What did you go with?
I went with the square. This is the only time I went with the square, which was letter C.
You're giving it away, Jenni.
I know. In the future, I plan to consult with you no matter what. I won't bypass you in making decisions again.
Now, we have to verify and confirm with everybody that we did not see each other's answers before right now.
We did not.
Didn't do this together. In fact, I saw your copy lying around yesterday and noticed you hadn't done it yet.
Right.
So for sure I hadn't.
Oh, I literally just did this an hour ago.
Well, and I just got home from work, so I just said whatever. I also select the square.
And did you not have a lot of squares on this?
I did not.
So I went back to this again, just like the one before it, thinking, why did I choose a square? And I think it was something about it being like a business matter. Like, so for me, it being a business partner and not partner and not like a coworker, there was something different there about that relationship.
Well, I think for me, out of those options, that statement helps to establish trust or reestablish trust, because you need trust in a business relationship.
Because you're going to,
trust me that I won't do that again, that you can trust me in the future of our endeavor. In Denver. Oh my God.
Or in Denver.
In Denver.
Yeah, because there's something for me. There's something really important about sort of that promise and plan for not having it happen again when you're a business partner, because there's so much riding on that. So interesting that we are again twinning.
Winning.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Number 8. No.
Yep.
Yes. A coworker unintentionally poked fun at you and embarrassed you in front of others in the workplace. He or she should say, A, is there any way I can repair our relationship? Would you like for me to apologize to you in front of the staff? B, it's easy to take others' feelings for granted, but I want to be more considerate of you and others in the future. Will you help hold me accountable? C, I didn't intend to hurt you, and now all I can do is ask for your forgiveness and try not to repeat my same mistake again. And D, I deeply regret embarrassing you like I did. I wish I could go back in time and say something more appropriate. And finally, E, that was so thoughtless of me. I thought I was being funny, but obviously not. Hurting you like I have is not funny. And I went with that one, actually, E, which is the circle. That was so thoughtless of me. I thought I was being funny, etc. Which one did you go with?
I went with the same one.
It's okay. That's a good thing.
I know. I guess. I guess it says something about, I don't know. Maybe there's a research study there.
Yeah.
Couples that match on some of these. Yeah, I went with that too. This was that was so thoughtless of me. I thought I was being funny, but obviously not. I don't know. Something about it being, I think, a work relationship again.
Okay.
Was,
yeah,
meaningful for me there. Although circles are pretty common in my answers here, so.
Okay.
Oh, right, my turn.
It's your turn.
You were trying to tell your friend something important, and he or she acted disinterested. He or she should say, A, I messed up this time, but in the future, I promise to give you my full attention when you say you have something important to tell me. B, I'm sorry I wasn't listening. You don't have to forgive me, but I hope you will. C, I feel really bad that I didn't listen to what you were saying. I know how it feels to have something important to say, and I regret that I didn't listen to you. D, listening is such an important part of a strong relationship, but once again, I blew it. You needed me to hear you, and I basically just ignored your need. E, can we back up and try again? You talk, and I'll listen. You'll have my undivided attention. So I went with C, which was a diamond. I feel really bad that I didn't listen to what you were saying. I know how it feels to have something important to say, and I regret that I didn't listen to you. What did you go with?
I almost went with that, but I went with the circle, actually, which is the next one. Listening is such an important part of a strong relationship, but once again, I blew it. You needed me to hear you, and I basically just ignored your need. And I think that really speaks to how I often should apologize to you, but often don't.
Oh, to me?
Yeah, like recognizing what was happening in the, in the situation. Like recognizing
that
how you're
listening
feeling.
Is such an important part of a relationship, that part. You know what threw me off on that one is but once again, I blew it. There's something kind of really, I don't know, that didn't appeal to me.
Self-deprecating.
Yeah, self-deprecating, kind of being a victimish in it, kind of making it about yourself, kind of like, poor me, I stink, I blew it again. That's kind of how I read that one, which that one was a circle, and I didn't read a lot of the other circles that way, but that's how I read that one. But I also went with the diamond.
Okay.
Because I seem to like diamonds and circles.
You do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so am I up? Number 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your brother learned that he had previously been wrong about a significant point of conflict between the two of you. He should say, A, I apologize. Will you please forgive me? B, that's pretty basic, right? That one.
Well, that one is a star, and I feel like the stars are always pretty basic. There was another star that was really short. I blew it. Can you forgive me? That was one of the options for number 4. That was a star as well. So I feel like the stars, that's kind of what they are. They're kind of basic. Not basic in like a negative way, but they're short and sweet. Like, I messed up. Sorry.
I think they're about forgiveness too. We'll talk more about that at the end, but I think that's
I'm reading
theme.
ahead. Requesting forgiveness. Yeah. So
anyway.
basically it's saying like, sorry, man, please forgive me.
Yeah. which I don't like, but we'll talk about that. B, I'm upset with myself over how I handled our disagreement. My behavior threatened our relationship, and that scares me. I regret the way I acted. C, I admit that I was wrong. If I had only known then what I know now, I could have saved us a lot of heartache. D, what can I do to mend our relationship? I feel like I need to do or say something to restore your respect for me. And finally, E, if we disagree over an issue in the future, I plan on gathering all the facts before I make any judgments that might save us from unnecessary arguing. And I went back to Diamond on this one, and that's B. I'm upset with myself over how I handled our disagreement, etc. Which one did you?
I got really confused because I looked at the triangle. I was like, that's not what diamond says. But apparently in my brain, diamonds and triangles are the same. I went with circle. I admit that I was wrong. If I had only known then what I know now, I could have saved us a lot of heartache. So you went with the diamond. I'm upset with myself over how I handled our disagreement. My behavior threatened our relationship, and that scares me. I regret the way I acted. That just seems intense. That threatened our relationship.
I kind of like what's behind it, though.
It said it was a significant point of conflict, so I guess it was
right. And I look at this too. I don't know if I should have done this or should not have done this, but I looked at the relationship in each example and based my answer on that. Well,
like the relationship specific in your life, like your actual brother.
Yeah, like how I would react.
I see. Yeah.
If the situation actually with my
That's what I did
brother.
too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Although, number 11, although you had expressed your annoyance with a particular habit many times before, your spouse continued exhibiting the behavior to spite you. He or she should say, A, I've taken this too far. I'm very sorry for not being more considerate of your wishes. I wouldn't like it if you did that to me. B, okay, I admit it. I'm annoying you on purpose, and that's neither funny nor fair. I need to act more mature than that. C, saying I'm sorry won't take back the fact that I've knowingly tried to annoy you. What more can I do to win back your favor? D, am I reading this right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry.
D, I have gotten into the habit of disregarding your wishes, and I don't want to go on doing that. From now on, I'm going to make extra efforts to honor your wishes. Or E, I've tried your patience, and now I'm asking you to forgive me. Will you allow me a fresh start in honoring your requests?
Who'd you go with?
I went with the circle again. Okay. I said, okay, I admit it. Okay, I admit it. I am annoying you on purpose, and that's neither funny nor fair. I need to act more mature than that. What did you go with?
I went again with Diamond, which is I've taken this too far. I'm very sorry for not being more considerate of your wishes. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like it if you did that to me. So that was what rang more true for me.
So I have to apologize because at the beginning of this, you wanted to say the shapes and I said no. And now I'm wishing that we had said the shapes the entire time. Well, because I think if people are following along driving, they might start to sort of see a pattern for themselves. Like, oh, I picked the star again. So from this part forward, can we read this?
Okay. Sure.
I'm really sorry.
Do you want to re-record?
No, I don't want to re-record.
I'm so just kidding. We're already
we don't re-record.
No, we don't actually.
I think that's important for people. Yeah. Like what you get is what I guess what we put out there. What
you press play on is what you get.
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, we edit out dead spots and dog barks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but we don't ever say like, "Ooh, I didn't like that take. Let's do it again." So, it's all real.
All right. So for the rest of the questionnaire, we will switch to all shapes.
Yeah, I mean now, so now everyone kind of knows the shapes are.
Don't sound like I know my ABCs.
I know that's true. There's diamonds, which I'm going to sort of give away now. Now that we've have half of them under the belt there.
Give it away.
Well, diamonds are about expressing regret. Circles are about accepting responsibility. Triangles are about making restitution. Squares are about genuinely repenting. And stars are about requesting forgiveness. Okay. So carry on.
Carry on. Number 12. Your father gave you the silent treatment as a way of making you feel guilty about something on which the two of you disagreed. He should say, circle. There is no denying that I'm guilty. I should have handled the situation with more fairness and honesty. The triangle is I would like to make this up to you somehow, and I want to keep talking with you. May I take you out to dinner? Square. In the future, I'm going to be more honest about how I feel without trying to make you feel guilty for not agreeing with me. And the star is it's your choice, but I really do hope you will forgive me. And finally, the diamond. You are an adult, and I really feel bad about controlling your decisions. I don't want to risk damaging our relationship.
I'm really curious. What did you pick?
Well, I don't know. I have a very light, easy, fun relationship with my dad, and I feel like none of these would really apply. I can't imagine my dad ever giving me the silent treatment.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, I went with circle. There is no denying that I'm guilty. I should have handled the situation with more fairness and honesty.
I also went with the circle, but as I was listening to you read it, the triangle piqued my interest this time, which is I would like to make this up to you somehow, and I want to keep talking with you.
You just want to go to dinner.
May I take you out to dinner?
Are you hungry?
I'm hungry. So I thought, like, why does that suddenly sound good to me? And I realized,
I ate lunch recently.
I'm hungry. That
okay.
is why. Okay, so no, I also went with the circle. There is no denying that I'm guilty. I should have handled the situation with more fairness and honesty, which again, the circle is about accepting responsibility. Number 13, a business associate broke a promise and caused you to miss an important deadline. He or she should say, square, it's too late to do anything about it now, but I want so badly to avoid this type of error again. Let's talk about what I can do in the future to make good on my promises. Star, I don't expect you to forgive me considering the trouble I've caused you, but I would greatly appreciate it if you would forgive me. Triangle, I am so sorry. I promised you I'd come through, and I not only let you down, but caused you to miss our deadline. I know this jeopardizes your work and our partnership. Circle, I've really messed up this time. You missed your deadline because of me. Triangle, I don't know what I can do at this point, but is there any way I can compensate you for my part in your missed deadline? I went with the triangle.
Triangle.
I'm so sorry. I promised you I'd come through, and I not only let you down, but caused you to miss your deadline. I know this jeopardizes your work and our partnership.
Wait, that's not triangle.
So, what is wrong with me?
I was like, what?
Diamond.
What are you talking about?
That's a diamond. There's something going on in my head that sees diamonds and triangles as the same.
Do you want to pause and eat something?
Okay, I think that would happen regardless. That's just my brain filtering out what it thinks is not important information. I went with
diamond. Are you sure?
I am so sorry.
Listen,
I promised you I'd come through.
Hold on. Like 6 or 7 episodes ago, you made fun of me for going to kindergarten twice. I think maybe you should have as well. That's where you learn shapes.
Oh boy, if any of my former preschool students are out there, I apologize because you probably don't know the difference between a triangle and a diamond.
Oh, that just makes me think of her.
Okay, all right. So I went with the diamond.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I promised you I'd come through.
Well, you read the right one. You just didn't say
I did. And I not only let you down, but caused you to miss your deadline. I know this jeopardizes your work and our partnership.
I also went with diamond. Hashtag still winning.
Okay. I thought, oh, right, you said triangle, but I don't know what happened.
Now everybody's confused.
I'm all confused.
Number 14.
So sorry. I'm my students tonight are so lucky to have me.
Yes.
Wow.
Number 14, your neighbor asked you to wait on him or her outside the arena, but he or she never showed up for the concert. He or she should say, why am I going to a concert with my neighbor? That's the first thing you should say.
Well, but I'm like, why didn't it just say friend?
I know.
Right?
Listen, Chap.
I know. I got love for you, Chap, and I respect it. I just kind of want to redo this questionnaire a little bit. Mm-hmm.
You know, because, I mean, we have neighbors that are also friends of ours.
Yeah, so I don't know what important. And also, I don't know, I think of arena, and I read that, and I was like, why are they fighting? Like they're gladiators.
Alrighty, arena. Okay. Star, our friendship is really important, and I hope you won't give up on me. Will you forgive me for standing you up? Diamond, I'm so sorry you had to stand there waiting on me. You are important to me, and I should have honored you and your time by being there when I said I would be. Circle, you stood there waiting on me, thinking I would show up at any moment and I'd let you down. If I only had managed my time differently, I would have been there. This is totally my fault. Triangle, let's go to another concert, and this time I'm paying for your ticket as a way of apologizing for standing you up last time. And finally, Square, in the future I will manage my time and prioritize my schedule so that I tend to our relationship like I should. Sorry, I couldn't see the second page.
Well,
there.
it says friendship there. So I guess your neighbor is your friend.
Yeah, in this example. Listen, those are all really wordy.
I know. See, that's also part of it. Like, who's really going to say
Even
that?
The star was wordy.
But it's the intent, So, all right. So which one did you pick?
Diamond again. I'm so sorry you had to stand there waiting on me. You are important to me, and I should have honored you and your time by being there when I said I would be.
Okay, so can you think of a more realistic way to say that and convey that same thing, which is expressing regret?
Yeah, I mean...
Like in real life.
I'm, shortening that first sentence. I'm so sorry you were waiting on me. This was super important, and I disrespected you and your time, or something like that.
Yeah. I went with circle, which is about accepting responsibility, and that one was also wordy. You stood there waiting on me, thinking I would show up at any moment, and I let you down. If I had only managed my time differently, I would have been there. This is totally my fault. So really wordy. So, I mean, I guess in real life, people would have been like, I feel so bad. This is all my fault. I should have managed my time better. You were just standing there waiting for me for so long. I guess that's also kind of wordy. But I think the thing about the accepting the responsibility is that most of these ones that are circles are about kind of really acknowledging and labeling what the wrong was, like naming it.
Right.
And then apologizing for it. And accepting responsibility for it. So there's kind of a 3-part to it. All right.
Okay.
So that was number 14.
Next.
So number 15, a friend's child broke one of your prized possessions while visiting in your home.
I struggled with this one.
It was probably with a ball. Your friend should say, it's interesting.
Raising aliens.
It's interesting that you struggled with this. I don't know that I really struggled with any of these. I don't know. Your friend should say, Diamond, I know this was one of your prized possessions and I feel terrible about what has happened. Circle, I should have been watching my child more closely. It was my fault for not paying more attention to what was going on. If I had just done a couple of things differently, this would not have happened. Triangle, may I pay you for this special item or can I purchase it somewhere for you? Is there some way I can replace this? Square, I promise that I will be more protective of your possessions in the future and will not allow my child to play in off-limits areas when we're in your home. Star, you have a right to be upset, but I hope that you can forgive me and remain my friend despite your disappointment.
What'd you go with?
I went with circle. I should have been watching my child more closely. It was my fault for not paying more attention to what was going on. If I had just done a couple of things differently, this would not have happened.
In this situation...
It's that accepting responsibility. Yes.
In this situation... The situation has driven my response because, of course you should have been watching your kid. I mean, that's implied, right? Mm-hmm. Replace my stuff. That's what I went with.
I guess I struggled because I don't have prized possession. Like I can't think of anything that we have that would be. Oh, Josh turned immediately to his drum set.
Literally looking at my drum set.
Yeah.
We're in the studio, which also has a lot of my instruments, which are somewhat irreplaceable.
True. Or like if someone broke our TV.
I mean, speaking of my dad, my cymbals were my dad's cymbals. They're 45-year-old cymbals. So they're special.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't care. Don't apologize. I don't care. Stuff happens. Kids break stuff. We invited you over. Fine, whatever. It's implied that they shouldn't have been doing that. Just replace my stuff.
So that's a triangle.
Yeah.
Making restitution.
Mm-hmm.
So in some situations, making restitution is important. That was the celebrate one too, right? For me, that was the one where it would be celebrate.
And you wanted to go to dinner.
But I didn't actually select that one.
No.
So I guess in some ways I can see. So, okay. So I think for me, what I'm finding is that making restitution isn't a possibility when it's about my feelings. Unless it's a party. Unless you want to celebrate me. Dinner's not going to make up for hurting my feelings. Buying me something isn't going to make up for hurting my feelings. But I hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. You're responsible for breaking something. Fix it. Okay, I get that. But I also guess I would want to have the apology. I don't know. You're swaying me a little bit here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
So I thought about the person being the person that had their stuff broken. And I also thought about being the parent in that situation.
I would do both.
Yeah.
I would do a circle and a triangle.
I think I would too, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Tell me
this is
how
my
I
fault.
Can replace this. Here's a check. Let me go buy it, whatever.
Yeah. Kids are so expensive.
Yep. You're up, lady.
No, I'm not. I'm even.
Wait.
I'm odd. You're even. We're on
Just kidding.
16.
Okay, number 16. A church member blamed you with sole responsibility for the failure of a committee project, although he or she shared leadership duties of the committee. He or she should say, triangle. There is no excuse for my behavior, and the only way I'm going to feel remotely better is to make this right between us. What do you need me to do or say? Square. I'm either going to learn how to treat my team members more appropriately, or I'm not going to lead any more committees. I want to grow from this experience. Star. Please forgive me. I was wrong to blame you, and I pray that you will forgive me. That's funny. Did Chap add a pray one?
He did. Well, Chap is from a religious organization.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. To each his own. Mm-hmm. That's just interesting that he added like a pray element to the church one.
Yes, to the church one.
Diamond, I can't believe I blamed you like I did. I really am embarrassed about my behavior, and I'm sorry. Circle, I had just as much to do with the failure of this project as you or anyone else. I should have admitted my shortcomings. I went with Diamond. I can't believe I blamed you like I did. I really am embarrassed about my behavior, and I'm sorry.
So did I.
All right. Mm-hmm. Samesies.
Samesies. And again, triangles are all about expressing regret. Mm-hmm. All right, now it's my turn. 17. Okay. Despite his or her promise to keep your secret, your coworker broke your trust in him or her by telling others in the office your secret. He or she should say, circle, I told you I would keep your secret, and I broke my promise and damaged your trust in me. I made a terrible mistake. Triangle, help me know what I should do to restore your trust in me. Square, it may take you some time to rebuild your trust in me, but I'll be working hard from now on to prove that I am trustworthy. Star, you don't have to answer immediately, but will you consider forgiving me for making this mistake? Or Diamond, if only I had thought about how much damage I was doing by telling your secret. I feel so bad for not having taken my promise more seriously. I went with Diamond again.
Diamond.
Did you as well?
Diamonds are Jenny's best friend.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I went with Circle. I told you I would keep your secret, and I broke my promise and damaged your trust in me. I made a terrible mistake. So
to skip to the end, I'm pretty evenly split on circles and diamonds, and I really kind of felt in a lot of these that they were so similar to each other. So for me, expressing regret and accepting responsibility are kind of, they go hand in hand. Yeah. And I think ultimately for me, they're both important, that someone acknowledges how they hurt you or wronged you, that they understand what it was. You know, it's I remember when we taught preschool together, and there was a mom, and when and you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
well, let's not say his name. And there was a mom who's, every time the little 4-year-old would do something wrong, she would come in and she would say sorry, Joey. Say sorry.
Say sorry.
Say sorry. Say sorry. And so for me, that's that sort of like moments encapsulated, like, we're just teaching him to say I'm sorry, and we're not really teaching him to show remorse or to understand what he's sorry for. He's just learning, someone's upset, I say I'm sorry, but that doesn't really mean anything.
I think that's probably the biggest takeaway here, right?
Well, for me, it is. Like, the words I'm sorry don't really mean anything. Like, but what really means a lot to me is if you can identify why I'm hurt, why I'm upset. that you can really identify that I can't believe you were standing outside that arena thinking I was showing up for the longest time and I wasn't there. I'm so sorry. Kind of acknowledging that and taking responsibility that this was totally my fault. That kind of humility is important to me. And I wonder if part of that is because I'm a social worker and I'm trained to reflectively listen like that to my clients. So when they say stuff, this is exactly what I'm trained to sort of say back. And so that's kind of what I expect from others. I'm not quite sure where it comes from, but yeah, that's the takeaway here. So I totally lost my place on that because I went off on a tangent.
Yeah,
you went with circle, right?
I went with circle.
And I went with diamond.
Yeah, and it's specific to, I don't know, the restitution piece. I didn't have a lot of those, but
which are triangles.
But I also went with a lot of diamonds. We'll go through the breakdown at the end, but for this particular situation, it was more important to me that the severity of the act was acknowledged.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that. All right.
Okay. Am I up?
Yep. 18.
Number 18, your teammate spoke negatively about you to others on the team. He or she should say, triangle, I want to do anything I can to correct my mistake. Shall I apologize in front of the team? Square, if I'm ever again upset with you, I promise to gather my thoughts and approach you directly and respectfully. Star, you may not be able to forgive me, at least not now, but I hope you can forgive me someday. Diamond, what I said was mean and unkind. I regret what I said and I wish that I could take it back. And finally, circle, I had a bad attitude and didn't once think about your positive attributes. I should have thought more about what I was saying. I guess I'll go first. Diamond.
Me too.
What I said was mean and unkind. I regret what I said and I wish I could take it back.
Yeah. We're syncing here.
Yeah.
Although we didn't
it's called
sync.
Winning, Jenny.
Oh, right. Sorry. We're not winning. It's interesting that we're syncing on this. However, when we did the repair attempts.
However's a fancy butt.
It is.
Okay?
I said it and wanted to take it back.
You know what? I know your fancy butts. That was a fancy butt.
I would like to have a fancy butt. And we're winning on this.
Keep thinking of butts with lace on them.
I'm wondering what a fancy
sequins and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's a bedazzled butt.
Listen, #fancy butt. Get us on Facebook and Instagram. Tell us what your definition of a fancy butt is, please. Or even better, do it with GIFs or memes.
GIFs?
No, we went with GIFs.
I know.
We made
okay, all right. Okay, we decided
6 episodes ago.
I forget where I was going with this. It's gone. I remembered. No, we are winning on this. We're matching on this. And it's interesting to me that on our last quiz, when we did the repair attempts quiz, we didn't match up so much. So it's interesting that we're coming up with the same answers as what would be important to us as apologies. Mm-hmm. Yet when we looked at it in terms of just our relationship, we didn't.
Right.
But I guess that quiz was more about this does happen versus this is a should.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So this is kind of the idealized one.
Okay.
All right. I worked that out. Thanks for letting me externally process that.
No problem.
All right. 19.
Despite your fancy butt.
19. Despite your having several positive accomplishments, your supervisor only criticized your performance. He or she should say, square, you deserve recognition for your hard work. I will try to be more balanced next time. Star, I hope this won't damage your relationship. Will you accept my apology? Diamond.
Don't hurt yourself.
Struggled with that. You could hear the wheels turning there. Triangle, star, diamond. I am so sorry that I focused on the minor flaws of your performance. I regret that I didn't encourage you more. Circle, I neglected to compliment you on the many strengths of your performance, and you may have felt that all your practice was for nothing. As your supervisor, I should be more forthcoming with praise for all the good work that you do. Or triangle, how can I earn your forgiveness? Shall I write down the strengths of your performance? I went with circle, the wordy one. I neglected to compliment you on the many strengths of your performance, and you may have felt that all your practice was for nothing. As your supervisor, I should be more forthcoming with praise for all the good work that you do. It sounds like based on your you didn't go with circle.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Yeah, I went with circle.
Oh, what was your reaction? You are a supervisor.
Yes.
how would you respond?
I think accepting responsibility is a huge part of being a supervisor and a good leader.
It's also a big part of being a good clinician and a teacher.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we center on these circles.
For sure. And, people make mistakes. Supervisors, leaders, managers, they're humans and they make mistakes.
Everyone makes mistakes.
And
so why do we pretend that we don't? Like, let's just own it, right? And say, I made a mistake.
I made a mistake. That was my bad.
Here's the mistake I made. So I'm showing you I know I made it. I'm not just saying sorry.
That just happened recently with me. And
you made a mistake.
I made a mistake on the schedule. You remember?
No, I don't. Well, don't get into details.
Whatever, I won't get into details. But one of my employees had to stay later, like an hour later, over their shift because I made a mistake in the schedule. And
so what did you do?
That was totally my bad. I should have followed up. There was a piece of information that I had to make sure was there that I didn't, and you had to stay over, and I apologize.
So this is interesting because I want to ask your employee to take this test.
Yeah.
Because what if stars are important to them, requesting forgiveness, or triangles, making restitution? What if your apology meant nothing to them? And instead it would have been helpful if you had said, you might not be able to forgive me. Or where's the actual supervisor one? Well, it's not about the performance. So maybe this is a star one. You may not be able to forgive me, at least not now, but I hope you can forgive me someday. Or what's a triangle one? How can I earn your forgiveness? Like maybe that would have been more important to them. So it's like the love languages, which is also from Chap. We approach, it sounds like, we apologize to others the way that we want to be apologized to, and that might not be so effective.
Well, in these situations, like I said earlier, I made my decisions based on the details of the example, and I thought specifically about how the team that reports to me that I'm
like the real people
at work, the real people, what I think that they would want.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have wanted the same. Or if this was, your girlfriend or your best friend or whatever, only criticize your performance or criticize you for something, I don't know that I would have chosen that.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying there.
Keep your mind out of the gutter, by the way. This is a family show.
All right. Okay.
Number 20. At lunch, there you go, Jenny. It was another food one.
Let's see if this impacted my answer.
Okay. Your server dropped food on you and ruined your shirt. He or she should say...
I have to say, I immediately felt so badly for the server.
We're going to go there.
Okay, right.
We're going to have a conversation about that because,
Okay.
Star, can you please forgive me for my carelessness? I did the same thing you did.
See,
Diamond.
It's hard.
I'm so sorry.
Because your brain sees the top part of it at first, and I think your brain's like, oh, 3 sides, it's pointy, it's a triangle.
Right.
And then your eyes see the rest of it, and your brain's like, nope. Because it's really 2 triangles put together.
It is 2 triangles put together. And actual diamonds aren't shaped like that, right?
No, baseball diamonds are. I kind of want to keep calling it a baseball. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm so sorry about that. I feel bad that I've ruined your shirt and inconvenienced you like this. Circle. I am normally pretty careful, but I wasn't careful enough this time. I accept full responsibility for this mess. Triangle. I would like to reimburse you for your dry cleaning or for the cost of a new shirt. What seems most appropriate to you? And finally, square. This has taught me a hard lesson. You can bet that I'll be even more careful in the future when serving guests.
You went with triangle on this one, right? You want a new shirt.
1,000,000%.
Because it doesn't matter.
No, I don't care.
Like, you don't have a relationship with this person.
And I don't care what lesson this taught you. I don't care about forgiving you. I don't care that you're sorry. I don't care that you feel bad about inconveniencing me. Pay for my shirt, please.
So that's interesting because just like 3 days ago, the local coffee shop did not have your call ahead order ready for like the 7th time in a row.
Yes.
When you went in, and I wasn't with you, but when you came out, you said how you talked to the manager about it to pass the information. You didn't want anything. You wanted them to learn from their lesson. The person.
Yeah. I don't think maybe they were the manager. I don't know.
But it was interesting that you didn't.
Can I talk about that for a minute? So
I went with the same one. That was my other triangle.
Really?
It was that one, and what was the other triangle? Oh, the party, the celebrate.
But you started out by saying, "Oh, I feel bad for the server."
I did, but
so I was
also
assuming you were going to go with something
I
else.
don't have limitless amounts of money. Now I have to buy a new shirt because you stained my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
no,
right.
I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
This also was why I was never a food server, because this terrified me.
Well, there's a couple things behind my thoughts on this, but I assumed you had gone with something else.
Well, listen, I don't own very expensive clothes, so if this happened to me, I would want the server to offer this, but I wouldn't accept it.
Right.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
That's where the feeling bad for them comes in.
So I was in food service for a long time.
That's true. You were.
Mm-hmm. And it's super important. It was super important to me as an employee to make sure that I put the customer 100% first all the time, met their needs, was quick, efficient, put out good quality food and coffee and everything. And when that doesn't happen, or that didn't happen, I felt like I failed. And so I put that on the servers that I interact with now as a customer, in my later years. And so, yeah, I have high standards, but I have to give credit where credit is due. And I know that he's controversial and people have issues with him, but I gotta give credit to Louis C.K., comedian, who talks about, "Oh, Jenny, did you have to get up? Is that your alarm?"
That's my alarm that we have to almost leave
morning.
for our child's baseball
Back
practice.
to talking about baseball.
And I was checking to see if he was home yet.
Is he back yet?
He is. And
that's
so the
good.
dog should start barking in about 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no,
Okay.
he's just cleared our Life 360 at the top of the street.
All right.
So we
listen,
we do have GPS monitoring on our children. That's another episode.
We planted bugs.
So we are really going to bring Louis C.K. into our...
he talks about...
We didn't okay this. We might have to cut this part out.
No, I didn't condone
Louis
anything.
C.K. prior to us knowing about what happened. Okay.
So he talks about how amazing technology is and how funny it is that people get mad at their phones, right?
Where are we going with this?
Because how can I get mad at a situation like the other day where I ordered food from my 5-inch electronical device over the magical waves of technology and cell towers.
Is electronical a word?
I don't know, but I said that. I realized, I have my food.
Gotcha.
It wasn't ready when I got here, but I have it. Whatever.
Yeah.
They apologized, and I just wanted to say, listen, this is like the third time I did this, and it wasn't ready. I just want to let you know. And I said, I acknowledge that it's pretty amazing that I get to do this from my phone, but just so you know, it's not working as you have intended it.
I'm really proud of you for that, because I think that was Everett. He just woke up from his nap and was doing his little shake there. Everett always has to make his presence known. I think an earlier version of you would have been super grumpy and not have acknowledged that there. So I'm proud of you for that. You are growing. Yeah. I'm proud of you for that. So,
all right, so that was the end. That was
so what were your?
Thanks for indulging me in the story.
You're welcome. All right. So what were your tallies? What did you have the most of?
No, I'm going to go least to most.
All right. Okay. What did you have the least of?
Stars.
Me too. How many did you have? Sorry,
I don't
my phone's on.
care about forgiveness, and stop asking me to forgive you.
Yeah,
that just doesn't jive with me at all.
You're being really aggressive here.
Sorry. I had 0 stars, Jenny.
I did too. So officially I had 0 stars on that. And a nicer way for me to say that is that forgiveness means very little to me. Like the word forgive, asking for forgiveness, giving someone forgiveness means very little to me. I think it's important though that we realize that it must mean something to other people, right? For Chap to have put this together and sort of tested this, there's got to be people out there who score maybe 20 on requesting forgiveness. And so when we come at them to apologize, because you and I, forgiveness doesn't really mean anything to us. When we come at them and we're not asking forgiveness, maybe there's a disconnect there. Maybe we're kind of missing the boat. So I think that's important. And this is kind of where I say that I never thought about this before. I never really thought about apology within the context of other relationships and what is meaningful to other people. So I think that's important to recognize. It doesn't mean
Right.
anything to you or I, but we probably should do a better job about understanding when it means something to other people. So,
Exactly.
hey, listen up, friends. Guess what's happening the next time that you're at a party at the Dizzy Bird Lounge here at Jenni and Josh's house? We're taking some questionnaires.
Yeah.
Okay.
People will be. Well, maybe we'll flip on the mics too, Jenni.
Okay. Live from Dizzy Bird?
Live from Dizzy Bird.
Okay.
Can I just say real quick about that? I also looked at some of those star answers as kind of like
minimizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, feel sorry for me. You don't have to forgive me now, or you don't have to forgive me only if you want to. It was kind of like this.
It kind of seemed about the person.
Kind of thing.
It sort of seemed about giving the person who's wronged you something. Like they need the forgiveness more than you need an apology. But that's because forgiveness doesn't mean anything to you and I. Very akin to, like, you can see that this is from the same guy that wrote the love language quiz, because it's really your apology language. And some of those buckets of the love language didn't mean anything to you or I. Like giving gifts didn't mean anything, but apparently celebrations do. What was next for you? Square?
Square.
How many?
Had 2.
I had 1. That was genuinely repenting, which for me is pretty similar to like requesting forgiveness. It's that like, I'm so sorry, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that it goes back to the preschool parent example. Say you're sorry, Joey. Say you're sorry.
Yeah.
You know, that for me is just words.
Well, it's I'm sorry, it's not going to happen again. It'll never happen again, right? So for me, it seemed kind of minimizing and not realistic. Like, I don't know. And for some of them, it was, tell me how to help me never do this again. And I feel like that's not my responsibility. You figure that out.
It gave me the same feelings as you don't have to forgive me now, or you don't have to forgive me only if you want to. It gave me made it about the person that committed the act versus the person that you're apologizing to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
for maybe for some people that are wronged, it's important that the person that did it is expressing that. So I think that's important for us to kind of keep coming back to.
But this one for me did apply in the business partner example where you had to reestablish trust.
Oh yeah,
like this is my plan for
I was the same as you.
Fixing it, right? Moving forward.
Yes, it was a business pay. Yeah, for that one, that was important because I need to have a plan there for how is this not going to happen again. In a friendship, not so much because we're human. But if you're my business partner and I've got like money and my livelihood riding on this, you need to figure out a way to make this never happen again. Like absolutely. I'm less kind of,
tell me
I
what
guess.
that plan is.
Yeah.
I mean, we deal with that situation in my real job all the time. Like there's this thing that happened, this finding, this deviation. What is the action plan to correct it moving forward? Sure,
that makes sense. So then your next least one must be triangle.
Triangle.
Making restitution, which is the dry cleaning and the celebration.
Right.
How many did you have?
Only 3.
I had 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of talked about those.
Only
not those
important in specific situations.
And really in situations, I guess, for me, where the relationship isn't important or where there's a party, a celebration.
Okay.
And then, so what was next for you? So what's left is triangle and circle, and there must be a lot kind of spread between those two. Are those pretty even or no?
No, not really. Circle for me was 6.
Okay.
That was next.
That was not next for me. The diamond or the baseball shape, because that's what my brain thinks, was next for me. And so circle is accepting responsibility. Diamond is expressing regret. I was split. I was 8 on the diamond and 9 on the circle. So pretty even for me.
I was 9 and 6.
So a little less like close for you.
Circle and diamond total for us were 17 and 18, 17 and 15.
Yeah, what are you, total? 9 and 6?
9 and 6.
Yeah, so pretty high for those two. Yeah. For me, they're pretty interchangeable, almost, the diamond and the circle. For you, it sounds like the diamond was a little more important for you?
The diamond was a little more important.
That's that expressing regret. So examples of that were, I'm so sorry about that. Let's not read that short one. A diamond, what I said was mean and unkind. I regret what I said and I wish that I could take it back. Yeah. And a circle is, I had a bad attitude and didn't once think about your positive attributes. So both of those are kind of acknowledging what they did was wrong and saying, like,
Right.
I get what I did was wrong. I'm
I
not
feel
just
like-
saying sorry. And the circle also goes on to say, I should have thought more about what I was saying.
I feel like they're similar.
They're
basically.
they're,
But the diamond for me, expressing regret, it assigns definition to the quote unquote I'm sorry.
yes.
It gives it more meaning. There's more behind it. You're
It's,
defining
I'm sorry.
what it is.
And it's not I guess for both of us, it's not, I'm sorry because your feelings are hurt, but I'm sorry because you were standing outside thinking I was going to show up and I wasn't. And,
Right.
and then that other piece of like, it's my fault. I totally should have planned my time better. Those are important. So this was interesting for me. And this kind of process, I guess, grew out of our last relationship episode about repairing repairing attempts in romantic relationships. Yes. This is interesting. It's our first kind of episode, kind of looking at the broader kind of scope of relationships.
Definition of relationships.
Yeah, and it's really quite interesting. And I've kind of been knocking this kind of around in my head quite a lot recently about kind of in the context of friendships. And I actually have an article that's going to be published tonight or tomorrow. So by the time that this episode goes up, it'll be up about kind of friendships and sort of energy that goes into them and sort of the price of friendships and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. And I'm hoping we can have more conversations about sort of this aspect of relationships. And I'm really curious, especially for people with whom I have relationships, what their answers are to this questionnaire. Right. Like our friends, well, I don't really have coworkers because I work by myself. You're my coworker, Josh.
Yes.
Like I don't get to go to an office and work day to day with people, and I teach online, so my dogs are my coworkers.
Yes. And they're good coworkers.
You know what would be important to them? They are triangles. They would like restitution. If we upset them, they would like a treat. But I'm hoping we can have more, more conversations about this, because it's just kind of feels like the tip of the iceberg right now. I'm just kind of digesting this a little bit and thinking a little bit more about this, and kind of wondering what the feedback is going to be around all of this.
Well, I definitely want to do more relationship in general type episodes, not just romantic relationships.
So I think maybe our next relationship, or one of our next, we could kind of lean into friendships in particular. And kind of explore some of this. Maybe we will actually talk with some friends and get like their answers to questionnaires or stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. But I found this really interesting, and so I'm hoping folks did too, and are kind of thinking about, what is that? What's important to me when I apologize to someone, or when they apologize to me, and what does that mean about like my important relationships in my life? Am I just coming at them with apologies that I would want, and I'm missing the mark and not apologizing in a way that's meaningful for them?
Yeah.
And conversely, if you've got folks in your life and you're like, why can't they just apologize? Yeah. Maybe they are, but maybe they're just apologizing in a way that's not meaningful to you, right? It's kind of like that love language. Maybe they're trying to sort of come at you and show you love with physical touch, and what you really need is a gift.
Right.
As an example.
The takeaway for me really is there should be, I feel like there should be more behind the I'm sorry. You know, think about the way you're apologizing. Think about what it might mean for that person. Do they need the I'm sorry defined, or do they just need the words?
Right.
And that's good enough for them. But I like this. So check out the 5 Apology Languages quiz by Dr. Chapman. Good old chap. Do you have anything else?
No, that was it.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you for listening and playing along. And again, Josh, I apologize that at the beginning of this episode,
you were anti-shape.
I mocked you about the importance of the shapes. I was very much concerned with getting through this before we had to go bring our child to baseball. And I wasn't thinking about the importance to the viewers, listeners. And I was wrong.
We got it taken care of, though.
Yeah. No, was that a meaningful apology for you?
That was a very meaningful apology.
I didn't say, what can I do to make it up for you? Make it up to you. All right.
Because that's unimportant, unless you spilled something on my shirt. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for today. Thank you so much for listening. You can learn more on this by Googling the 5 Apology Languages quiz and checking out Dr. Chapman's resources. Go ahead and take the quiz. Ask your family to do it with you. It can be pretty eye-opening for you. Listen, check out Medium. Jenny, can you give a quick Medium shout out real quick.
So
exciting.
Yeah, you're catching me off guard
Yes.
here. I didn't actually tell you. So, there's this wonderful website, medium.com.
Yeah.
It's not about being a medium. It's a medium for writing. And you, as a writer, can submit your stuff, and it can be potentially picked up by curators or editors who will then say, hey, we'll pay you for this. And we will promote your writing and your articles and kind of share it via email and social media and on their website. And so I was sick over the weekend and was like stuck in bed and was really drowning myself in social media, and learned about Medium through that way. And I thought, oh, I can copy and paste some of my blog articles. And so I did. And as of this afternoon, 6 of them have gotten picked up by curators, but 2 of those 6 have then gotten picked up by editors of other publications. I didn't tell you this part. And so published on sort of other Medium platforms. So, and then listen, I'm not going to get paid a whole lot. It's like, if you clap, which is like a like, I think I might get like between 30 cents and $2, but I have a lot of claps so far.
That's
so
great.
It's the first time that I've actually ever really been kind of paid for my non-professional work. I've been paid for, trainings and things like that. Written trainings and things. So this is new for us. So if you go to my Instagram page, there's a little, you can click on my link and it will show you how to get to my Medium stuff. So if you want to, you can join Medium and be a paying member. And then you get access to more articles. So some of these articles you can only read if you are a paying member.
Well, it's important to share this great news because the blog articles were the inspiration for Changing Perspective podcast. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that shout out. I appreciate that.
Check out Medium. Check out the link on Jenny's.
That was you acknowledging an accomplishment.
Absolutely. You can actually
I still have a party?
Yeah, you can still have a party. Absolutely.
Celebrate. I think the word was celebrate.
You can actually go to Medium and just type in Jenny Brennan 2 and search her that way. You can find her stuff that way.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I'm Jenni.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, check out all of our stuff. You can find us at Changing Perspectives Podcast on Facebook and on Instagram at Changing Perspectives Blog. Check out the website by going to changingperspectivesblog.com or send us an email to changingpodcast@gmail.com. Listen, go check us out. Give a listener mail. Give us a post on Facebook. We will read it over the air. And listen, don't forget, #FancyButt. Get out there on our social medias and let us know what you think a fancy butt looks like. Is that okay?
No.
Go ahead and subscribe.
Please don't DM me any of that stuff. No.
Go ahead and subscribe, everybody, to the show so you'll never miss an episode. And we will see you next time. Say bye, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
The Changing Perspectives podcast is produced, recorded, and edited by Dizzybird Studios, Whitman, Massachusetts. Visit Dizzybird Studios on Facebook, facebook.com/DizzybirdStudios.
Welcome to Cinemarks. If you have your tickets, take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Ever dance for the devil in the pale moonlight?
Every week, Troy Adams is joined by an array of nerdy podcasting co-hosts.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
They discuss films and television from the past, present, and future. It's always something different on the slate.
Life is a box of chocolates, Forrest. You never know what you're gonna get.
It's always kept fun, spirited, and they attempt to be entertaining.
60% of the time, it works every time.
You can follow the Cinemarks on Twitter and Instagram at CinemarksPod.
Go ahead. Make my day.
The Cinemarks podcast is available on Wooshkaa, iTunes, Spotify, and most other podcasting platforms. We hope you enjoy the show.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.